Hello, this is Annoying Orange here. Welcome to a new video, a first guide video on Tryndamere. So in this video, I'll only introduce the runes and masteries. Sorry for this one. So for Tryndamere's runes, I have 3 rune pages which I run, but I only pick 2. Like I'll normally alternate between one or the other in my ranked games. So this is the first one, the CDR build, which is pretty popular nowadays. So the focus on this rune page is to have 10% CDR. So I'll take attack damage reds, armor yellows, attack speed quints, which is the classic, 6 scaling CDR blues, and the rest MR. So the reason why I take only scaling and not like 5 scaling and 5 flat is because CDR doesn't matter much to Trynd early game. CDR only matters more mid to late game because you need to. The purpose of the CDR build is for the spin cooldown to come off faster, and early game, the early CDR doesn't really matter as much. So having magic resist, extra magic resist will always be nice, especially against AP top laners. So if I intend to run CDR, I highly recommend this, or you can switch it up to have attack damage quints and attack speed reds. So this is the CDR build. The second rune page is something that I don't exactly recommend. It's the full attack speed build. So some Tryndamere players prefer this over the mix of attack damage and attack speed. The reasoning behind this is because they can stack fervors faster, which I'll be explaining the masteries later. But the problem is this page sucks early game, so it's quite hard to net kills because your auto attacks will not hurt as much. So you'll be basically tickling the enemy with a lot of attack speed, so you'll feel rather weak early. So it's pretty difficult to get good trades off the enemy. Also, this rune page is pretty bad when it comes to short trades, because short trades when you want to trade damage in short trades, you need AD to do so, and this rune page doesn't have any. This rune page excels in long-term trades. But if you can't pull that off, this rune page will be not as effective. But it's according to personal preference, although I will personally not recommend all AS attack speed in the rune page. So the third one is this one. The second rune page that I normally run if I don't run CDR on Tryndamere. So same deal, attack damage reds, armor yellows, MR blues, and attack speed quints. So this rune page makes you a bit stronger early game with a nice mix of attack speed, because of course Tryndamere becomes very powerful attack speed. Your auto attacks will hurt quite a bit due to the AD reds, and attack speed helps you get those autos faster and helps to stack further. So there's a nice balance in between. So not too much attack speed and not too little AD. So if you're running classic Tryndamere, I would recommend this attack speed quints and attack damage reds, or you can switch it same as before, attack damage quints and attack speed reds. That also works just as fine. So moving on to the masteries. First, I'll be introducing, this is the alternative one, I'll be first introducing this one, the more offensive related Tryndamere mastery page. So Tryndamere is one of the champions where only one Keystone works very effectively on him, and I'll explain why soon enough, after explaining the 2 possible mastery pages. So this 18-12-0 is for more offensive, like more skill or easy matchups where you aim to do more damage and kill the enemy. So I'll be going through each mastery in detail. You need Fury over Sorcery because you need attack speed. Fresh Blood so that you can do more damage with your basic attacks, which is what Tryndamere needs. If you want a more passive lane, Feast is a good alternative. So Vampirism or Natural Talent. Natural Talent for more damage, Vampirism for more sustain. So if you want more damage, I will take Talent. If you want a more passive lane, I'll take Vampirism. So these 3 I'll say Battle Trance is better because Tryndamere excels in extended trades. So in extended trades, you get to practice mastery, which makes you deal even more damage. Because yeah, like I said, Tryndamere's nature is like you keep auto attacking, and over 5 seconds you can practice, meaning that you higher chance for you to win the 1v1. And I wouldn't exactly recommend these two because I personally think Battle Trance is better. This Battering Blows, self-explanatory, better than Magic Penetration, which is not necessary, and Fervor of Battle. Okay, so Cunning 12. These two are personal preference. You can roam better with this, or Split Push because you can move around the map, makes you a bit more mobile and all. Savagery makes CSing easier, so CSing matters quite a bit to me, and this can determine whether I miss CS or I secure it. So I always think Savagery is better if you're on a CS. So I take Assassin because I play Tryndamere like a split pusher. This Mastery is useless if you group because it won't proc. So alternatively, you can take Secret Stash if you need more sustain. That's just as fine, and it's more useful if you group anyway because you have you at least get to practice somehow, like when you heal off potions in the middle of a team fight or something. But I will recommend Assassin if you intend to purely split push, or 1v2, 1v3, whatever. You know how the Tryndamere life is. So this one, self-explanatory. Merciless makes you deal more damage in extended trades because in extended trades, naturally both of you will be very low on health, and this will make you deal even more damage, which complements this. So in total, you'll be doing around 10% increased damage in extended trades, which makes you very, very powerful. So in choosing these three, or actually these three are all equally viable. Dangerous Game helps you in clutch duel, so it can potentially save your life from ignite ticks and all. Bandit is good if you want the extra money if you miss CS, and it gives you more incentive to hit your enemy because you get free 10 gold. So this is like if you want extra money, it's like the previous season Avarice Blade if you want to look at it. So this is very good. Green Father's Gifts helps you deal more damage, but you need to alter your playstyle a little bit so that you have to constantly enter the brush and then spin on the enemy from the brush so you can practice mastery. But this is quite hard to get used to it, and it's a bit too tedious for me. So personally, I recommend either Bandit or Dangerous Game. So I would say Bandit is probably the best one, but Dangerous Game is probably better in an Ignite versus Ignite top lane. So I'll save this. The next one I'll go into is the more defensive option if you're against a hard matchup. For example, Teemo, Quinn, Pantheon. So offensive stays the same. I don't need to repeat myself again. So for this one, recovery over unyielding because you need the health regen. You need to constantly sustain. For this one, I'll recommend either Tough Skin or Siege Master. The reason why I wouldn't say Siege, I would say Tough Skin is better is because you wouldn't be really hugging turret the entire time. Sometimes you may be pushing to the enemy turret and this Keystone is useless. And Tough Skin helps you take less damage when you're getting poked. So it's basically like a mini Doran shield if anything. So I'll say Tough Skin is better. Runic Armor over Veteran Scars. Sure, you may have high base HP, and this complements it, but this helps you with your regen and your lifesteal and your Q heals. So your Q actually heals more, and your lifesteal more, a little bit more, but a little bit goes a long way. So between these three, I'll only recommend Insight or Fearless. Insight is good for summoner spell cooldown, so if you go CDR build, you can exploit the reduce, and if you go cooldown boots, you can make the cooldown of your summoners even shorter with this. So it creates more plays, especially if you run Ghost Ignite. This Mastery combined with cooldown boost makes your Ghost Ignite become like super short cooldown. So you can all in your opponent like it's like at nearly any time you want because the cooldown is just that short. However, I would say Fearless is overall better because during trades you take damage and this helps you, it gives you a little bit of armor so you end up taking a bit less damage. And it's a pretty short cooldown, so this can actually help you win trades in lane, but this is also just as good, so it's personal preference. So the last part of the guide is the Keystone choices, and I'll discuss why Fervor of Battle is the only good one and why the others are terrible. I'll also discuss the alternatives and I'll tell you why they are trash. So the new Fervor of Battle is basically meant for basic attack champions like Tryndamere. So Tryndamere's main source of damage is basic attacks. So when he auto attacks, he stacks Fervor, which makes sure that his upcoming basic attacks will do more damage, making him excel, like I constantly reiterate, in extended trades. And since Tryndamere is a melee champion, you stack Fervor so fast, since it's 2 per stack. So just 5 auto attacks, and you basically get 10 extra 80 and it scales pretty well into the late game. Excuse me. So I don't really see any other alternative to Fervor of Battle because it's basically meant for champions like Tryndamere, who auto attacks a lot, and combined with this, and this, he'll do like the lower the health Tryndamere is, he does so much damage. Because and not to mention this Keystone does damage during your ult, which I'll be explaining in Warlord's Bloodlust and why it's inferior to Fervor. So other Tryndamere players I see take Warlord's Bloodlust, but I'm going to tell you it's not that great. It's the second best, but I'll say Fervor is better. So the reason why Warlord's Bloodlust is taken, by according to some Tryndamere players, is because it gives you sustain in lane. But it does no damage. The purpose of this Keystone is negated once you get Vamp Scepter, because it gives you lifesteal, and it's only noticeable when you're very, very low on health. So this Keystone is only probably useful pre-6 duels. When duels are very close, you can probably proc Warlords because it gives you more lifesteal when you're low on health. But if the enemy takes Ignite, this Keystone is pretty much moot because the lifesteal is cut in half. And secondly, even if the enemy takes TP, chances are they're going to outdamage the lifesteal, unless all their abilities are on cooldown and stuff. So I really would, and after 6, Fervor of Battle is straight up better because this Keystone is useless during your ult. So the only time this Keystone is useful is after your ult, and chances are you're probably not going to commit unless both of you are super, super low, and even then Fervor of Battle does damage to ensure that you win the duel. So in essence, Warlord's Bloodlust is not a very good Keystone because its usefulness is easily replaceable with lifesteal items, and it doesn't do much damage. So moving on to this one, you take Storm Raiders or Thunder Lords, although I wouldn't recommend either. Storm Raiders is more like RNG, so you only can proc it very occasionally. You need to rely on crits in order to proc Storm Raiders early game. If you don't crit, you won't proc Storm Raiders and you're playing without a Keystone. So if you read my guide on LoL King, I always emphasize that you should never rely on RNG to win lane. Because at full fury, you'll only have a 35% chance to crit, 35% chance to trade effectively. So RNG always favors them. So you have a minority's chance to proc Storm Raiders. So I wouldn't really recommend this because you want to be consistent when you want to win lane. You want to win lane every single time, not the chances where you can crit. So I really wouldn't recommend Storm Raiders. Thunderlord is just greatly outclassed by Fervor. Yeah, sure, you deal bonus attack, bonus damage on and off, but the cooldown is very long, and when it's down, it's pretty much useless, and you probably might as well be stacking Fervor stacks when you're trading. So, Thunderlord does too little damage, outclassed by Fervor in every aspect. Wind Speakers, let's not talk about this. Grasp of the Undying. This used to be a very popular Season 6 Keystone, but now it got nerfed, so I wouldn't recommend it. It's only good early game, after that it's not much. Even tank Tryndamere I'll recommend Fervor. That's how outclassed this Keystone is. So, all in all, Fervor Battle, two Mastery pages, 18.12.0 or 18.0.12. So this is a very short and simple guide on the runes and masteries of Tryndamere. I might release further Tryndamere guides, for example, build paths and or possibly gameplay, live gameplay. So stay tuned. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on my next